The starship's bridge was a cathedral of silent tension, its curved walls lined with holographic displays that pulsed with soft blue light. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood motionless, her posture a study in controlled determination. Outside the expansive viewscreen, the infinite black of space stretched in all directions, punctuated by distant stellar clusters that seemed to mock humanity's recent near-extinction. 12 months had passed since the fall of Earth. 12 months since the collective Imperium had systematically destroyed human colonies, outposts, and finally the homeworld itself. The horizon represented more than just a ship. It was the final repository of human hope, a technological marvel that defied everything the alien civilizations believed possible. The ship's central intelligence system, an advanced quantum neural network, continuously analyzed potential scenarios with inhuman precision. Its core programming was built on the collective works of humanity's greatest minds, mathematicians, physicists, strategists, and philosophers who had dedicated their lives to understanding the universe's most complex problems. Elena's fingers brushed against the holographic interface, bringing up a detailed schematic of the ship's revolutionary quantum adaptive shielding. Each molecular layer could reconfigure itself in microseconds, responding to potential threats with a complexity that would baffle most known technological civilizations. It was a system born from decades of research, multiple scientific disciplines converging into a single breakthrough that represented humanity's most sophisticated technological achievement. The ship's storage banks contained more than just technological specifications. Compressed within its quantum memory cores were the entirety of human cultural knowledge, literature, art, scientific discoveries, historical records, and genetic samples from thousands of individuals. If the horizon survived, humanity would survive, not just as a species, but as a civilization with its entire legacy intact. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. The ship's sensors had detected something at the extreme edge of its long-range scanning range. Elena's eyes narrowed, her military training kicking into high gear. 12 months of constant evasion and survival had honed her instincts to a razor's edge. "Confirm external scan parameters," she spoke quietly, her voice steadied, despite the potential threat. The ship's intelligence responded in a neutral tone, devoid of emotion but precise in its communication. Scanning confirmed. Quantum signature detected approximately 2.3 light-years from current position. Probability of Imperium fleet signature, 87.6%. Elena knew the odds. The Horizon was the last known human vessel, a prototype that represented years of secret research and development. Its quantum resonance drive allowed for movement and tactical capabilities that defied conventional understanding of space travel. Where traditional ships moved in straight lines or predictable arcs, the Horizon could quantum fold, essentially existing in multiple spatial coordinates simultaneously. Her mind drifted to the team that had created this marvel. Brilliant scientists who had sacrificed everything. Their careers, their comfort, and ultimately their lives, to ensure that humanity had one final chance. The ship was their legacy, a testament to human innovation and resilience. The storage banks contained more than just technological data, personal logs, artistic collections, scientific journals. The entire breadth of human experience was encoded within the ship's memory. If the Horizon was destroyed, it would mean the complete erasure of human civilization. "Prepare adaptive camouflage protocol," Elena commanded. The ship's exterior would now begin to dynamically adjust its electromagnetic and quantum signatures, making detection increasingly difficult. It was a game of cosmic hide-and-seek, with the highest possible stakes. Her hand unconsciously touched the small medallion around her neck, a family heirloom passed through generations, now the only physical connection to her past. It represented something the Imperium could never understand, the deeply personal motivations that drove human survival. The ship's intelligence continued its rapid calculations, potential escape routes, tactical advantages, probability matrices, all processed in microseconds. But underlying all these cold calculations was something fundamentally human: hope. Not just a mathematical possibility, but a visceral, emotional certainty that survival was possible. Outside, the universe continued its vast, indifferent dance. Stellar winds swept past invisible quantum fields, distant galaxies rotated in their eternal patterns, and within this cosmic theater, the horizon represented humanity's final act, not with a whimper, but with a profound, defiant potential for survival. The quantum translation signature erupted across the sensor networks like a violent wound in the fabric of space. Admiral Zorak of the Collective Imperium watched with cold calculation as his primary battle fleet materialized, 500 warships forming a perfect spherical formation that stretched across multiple light years. Each vessel was a marvel of alien engineering. Crystalline hulls that absorbed and redirected energy, weapon systems that could obliterate entire planetary systems with a single concentrated burst. The Imperium had conquered thousands of civilizations, reducing resistance to mathematical certainties. Planets became statistics, species became footnotes in their expansive galactic archives. Zorak's personal command ship, the Stellar Dominance, hung at the center of the formation. Its bridge was a complex neural network of biological and technological interfaces, where thousands of interconnected consciousness nodes processed information at speeds unimaginable to lesser species. Holographic displays showed the computed probabilities of their upcoming engagement, each projection a testament to the Imperium's computational superiority. "Locate the human vessel," Zorak commanded, his voice a metallic resonance that vibrated through the ship's neural pathways. Millions of sensor tendrils extended outward, quantum-entangled detection systems probing the surrounding space with unprecedented precision. The most recent intelligence suggested this was the last human ship in existence, a final, pathetic remnant of a species the Imperium had systematically dismantled over the past 12 standard galactic cycles. Zorak's historical archives contained detailed records of human resistance, sporadic, unpredictable, but ultimately futile. Tactical analysts presented their initial findings. The lone human vessel appeared to be a prototype, its quantum signature unlike anything in the Imperium's extensive database. Most curious was its ability to maintain a consistent energy profile, while simultaneously displaying quantum uncertainty characteristics that defied standard computational models. "Unusual," muttered Sub-Commander Krell, his neural implants flickering with complex algorithmic patterns. "The vessel demonstrates technological anomalies that do not conform to our predictive models." Zorak's response was immediate and dismissive. "Anomalies are merely undocumented patterns waiting to be understood. Prepare standard extinction protocol." The Imperium's approach to unknown technologies was consistent and brutal. Comprehensive analysis followed by complete elimination. No species had ever successfully resisted their final solution. Planets were reduced to molecular dust, civilizations were erased from galactic records, and resistance became a mathematical impossibility. Deep within the Stellar Dominance's computational core, complex algorithms began to parse every known piece of information about human technological development. Historical records showed a species characterized by unpredictability, rapid technological adaptation, and an almost irrational capacity for survival. Most alien civilizations had seen these traits as weaknesses. The Imperium saw them as interesting variables in their grand computational strategy. Sensor networks continued their relentless probing. The human vessel remained frustratingly difficult to track, its quantum signature shifting in ways that challenged the most advanced tracking systems. It was as if the ship existed in a state of perpetual quantum uncertainty, dancing between potential locations with a fluidity that defied conventional understanding. Sub-Commander Krell's neural implants began to generate warning signals. Subtle anomalies in the tracking data suggested something fundamentally different about this human vessel. Traditional extinction protocols might require modification. "Admiral," Krell reported, "the vessel demonstrates quantum adaptive capabilities that are unprecedented." Zorak's response was a complex neural pulse that communicated both curiosity and absolute confidence. No single ship could challenge the might of the collective Imperium. No single species had ever truly threatened their galactic dominance. Yet something about this particular engagement felt different. The historical records of human resistance suggested a species that refused to accept computational certainties, a civilization that saw challenges as opportunities, that transformed limitations into innovative solutions. The stellar dominance moved forward, its massive form cutting through the quantum fabric of space. Weapon systems charged, detection grids expanded, computational cores prepared for multiple engagement scenarios. One final human vessel stood between the Imperium and absolute victory. One last potential threat to their galactic order. The hunt had begun. The heart of the horizon was not its quantum drive or its adaptive shielding, but the complex neural network that served as its central intelligence system. Developed by a team of researchers from diverse disciplines, the ship's cognitive core represented the pinnacle of human collaborative genius. Dr. Marcus Chen's holographic journal played softly in the background of the ship's primary research lab. His final recorded message, created moments before the fall of Earth, spoke of more than just technological innovation. It was a manifesto of human potential. "We are not building a weapon," his image said, hands gesturing with the passion of a lifetime of research. "We are creating a guardian of human knowledge. A vessel that can think beyond traditional computational limitations." Elena studied the recordings carefully. Marcus and his team had understood something fundamental that most technological civilizations missed. True intelligence was not about processing power, but about adaptability, creativity, and the ability to find solutions outside established parameters. The ship's neural network was a symphony of interconnected systems. Quantum processors worked alongside adaptive learning algorithms, drawing from millions of human scientific papers, strategic analyses, cultural records, and philosophical texts. Where alien intelligences followed rigid protocols, this system could learn, improvise, and imagine. In the storage banks, compressed within quantum memory cores, lay the accumulated knowledge of human civilization. Scientific discoveries, artistic masterpieces, historical records, and genetic archives. A comprehensive record of humanity's potential. If the horizon survived, human civilization would survive, not just as a genetic memory, but as a living, breathing possibility. Elena reviewed the ship's most recent computational projections. The Central Intelligence had been running millions of potential engagement scenarios with the approaching Imperium fleet. But these were not simple military simulations. Each scenario incorporated complex variables, psychological factors, cultural understanding, potential technological innovations. The ship's primary research database contained something unique. While most alien civilizations approached problem-solving through direct computational methods, this system had been programmed with human creativity as a core operational parameter. It could generate solutions that defied traditional logical constraints. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, both a quantum physicist and a strategic operations expert, understood the true nature of their mission. The horizon was more than a ship. It was a testament to human innovation, a final statement of a species that refused to be defined by its limitations. Her fingers traced the intricate quantum adaptive interface. Each molecular layer could reconfigure itself in microseconds, responding to potential threats with a complexity that would baffle most known technological civilizations. It was a system that embodied the fundamental human trait of resilience. The ship's memory banks contained personal stories alongside scientific data, journals of researchers, artistic collections, historical narratives. The entire breadth of human experience was encoded within its systems. Each piece of data was a potential strategy, a potential solution. "Prepare comprehensive analysis protocol," Elena commanded. The ship's intelligence began to process every known interaction between the Imperium and other civilizations. But this was not a simple data compilation. It was a deep, creative exploration of potential response strategies. Quantum processors began to generate potential engagement scenarios that went far beyond traditional military thinking. Where most species would prepare for direct conflict, the horizon was developing approaches that challenged the very concept of confrontation. Dr. Chen's final journal entry played again. "Remember, His holographic image said, "Our greatest strength is not in our technology, but in our ability to imagine what others cannot." Elena understood the true nature of their mission. The Horizon carried more than weapons or technological innovations. It carried the essence of human potential, the ability to transform challenges into opportunities, to see beyond immediate limitations. Outside, the vast darkness of space continued its silent watch. Distant stellar clusters rotated in their eternal dance, unaware of the profound potential contained within this single vessel. The last repository of human hope hung suspended between infinite possibilities. One ship, millions of years of human potential, an entire civilization's final chance at survival. The moment of first contact arrived with a silence more profound than any explosion. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as the Horizon prepared to engage the approaching Imperium fleet. Captain Elena Rodriguez watched the holographic displays with laser-focused concentration. Quantum displacement indicators flickered across multiple dimensional planes, showing the impossible movements the ship was about to execute. Traditional navigation became a laughable concept when dealing with the Horizon's revolutionary quantum fold capabilities. "Initiate quantum translation sequence," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the immense stakes. The ship's central intelligence system began its most complex calculation yet. This was not merely about survival, but about proving the fundamental potential of human technological innovation. Each quantum fluctuation was a carefully choreographed dance of possibility, a mathematical symphony that would challenge everything the Imperium understood about spatial movement. The first phase of engagement was pure misdirection. The Horizon began to exist simultaneously in multiple spatial coordinates, its quantum adaptive shielding creating a holographic echo that defied traditional targeting systems. Where most vessels moved in predictable trajectories, the Horizon danced between potential locations with a fluidity that bordered on the impossible. Imperium sensor networks went into overdrive. Sophisticated tracking systems struggled to maintain a consistent lock on the human vessel. It was as if the ship existed in a state of perpetual quantum uncertainty. Here, then not here, then somewhere entirely unexpected. Sub-Commander Krell of the Imperium flagship watched in mounting confusion. His neural interfaces began to generate warning signals, complex algorithmic patterns that suggested something fundamentally impossible was occurring. The human vessel was not just evading detection, it was fundamentally challenging the computational models of spacetime interaction. "Recalibrate primary targeting systems," Krell commanded, his voice a mixture of professional calm and underlying tension. But each recalibration failed. The Horizon moved through space like a living thought, quantum folding in ways that seemed to violate the fundamental laws of physics. It was a demonstration of human innovative thinking, taken to its most extreme technological conclusion. Elena understood the psychological warfare inherent in their approach. This was more than a military engagement. It was a statement about human potential, about the ability to transform limitations into opportunities. The ship's weapon systems remained dormant. This was not a battle to be won through conventional destruction, but through the pure demonstration of technological superiority. Each quantum translation was a mathematical argument, a proof of concept that challenged the Imperium's understanding of possible and impossible. Imperium battle protocols began to break down. Their computational systems, designed to predict and counter every known form of spatial movement, found themselves confronted with something entirely unprecedented. The Horizon was not just a ship, it was a living theorem, a practical demonstration of quantum mechanics taken to its most extreme conclusion. Quantum signature stability at 98.7%, the ship's intelligence reported. Each movement was a carefully calculated risk, a dance between multiple potential realities. Admiral Zorek's command vessel began to show signs of computational stress. The massive alien ship, designed to be the pinnacle of technological superiority, found itself confronted with a form of movement that existed outside its comprehensive understanding. Elena smiled. This was humanity's true strength, the ability to look at established rules and find the spaces between them. Where other civilizations saw boundaries, humans saw opportunities for innovation. The horizon continued its impossible dance. Quantum folds created multiple simultaneous representations of the vessel, each one a potential reality. Imperium targeting systems spun into increasing levels of confusion, their sophisticated detection grids overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of the human ship's movements. This was more than a battle. This was a demonstration of human potential, a statement written in the language of quantum mechanics and innovative thinking. Space itself seemed to bend around the horizon, a testament to human creativity that defied conventional understanding. The first engagement had begun. The next phase of engagement was a symphony of mathematical complexity. Where traditional warfare relied on brute force, the horizon transformed the battlefield into an intellectual arena that challenged the very foundations of technological conflict. Alina watched as the ship's central intelligence system began to broadcast a series of intricate algorithmic sequences. These were not simple communication signals, but elaborately constructed mathematical patterns designed to exploit the most fundamental weaknesses in the Imperium's interconnected network systems. Each algorithmic sequence was a work of art, developed from centuries of human research in cryptography, quantum computing, and complex systems theory. The signals were designed to do more than simply disrupt. They were meant to challenge, to provoke, to fundamentally rewrite the operational parameters of the alien fleet's computational infrastructure. Sub-Commander Krell was the first to notice the subtle changes. Quantum-linked communication networks began to show inexplicable fluctuations. Weapon synchronization protocols started to drift, creating microscopic delays that would cascade into massive systemic failures. The Horizon's approach was a perfect embodiment of human innovative thinking. Where most species would attempt to destroy through direct force, this vessel was dismantling the Imperium's technological superiority through pure intellectual warfare. Quantum-entangled communication lines began to twist in on themselves. Imperium vessels found their computational cores experiencing what could only be described as a form of mathematical confusion. Targeting systems became increasingly erratic, weapon synchronization protocols began to fail, and the once perfect fleet formation started to dissolve. It was not destruction through violence, but through the pure application of intellectual innovation. Alina understood the deeper strategy. This was more than a military engagement. It was a demonstration of human potential, a proof that true technological superiority was not about raw computational power, but about creative problem-solving. The algorithmic sequences were multidimensional attacks. They didn't just disrupt systems. They challenged the fundamental computational logic of the Imperium's technological infrastructure. Each signal was a complex puzzle, a mathematical argument that forced the alien systems to reconsider their most basic operational parameters. Admiral Zorek's command vessel began to experience unprecedented system failures. Neural interfaces that had been designed to be completely impenetrable found themselves confronted with a form of intellectual attack they could neither predict nor counter. "Recalibrate primary network protocols," Zorek commanded, his voice a mixture of confusion and growing concern. But each recalibration attempt only introduced more complexity. The Horizon's signals were adaptive, changing their fundamental structure with each interaction. It was as if the ship was engaged in a continuous, real-time problem-solving exercise that evolved faster than the Imperium could respond. Imperium vessels began to turn on each other. Weapon systems became confused. Targeting algorithms went haywire. The once perfect battle formation dissolved into a chaos of mathematical uncertainty. Alina watched the transformation with a sense of profound understanding. This was humanity's true strength, the ability to see beyond established technological paradigms. Where other civilizations saw boundaries, humans saw opportunities for innovation. The ship's central intelligence continued its relentless assault. Each algorithmic sequence was a carefully crafted piece of intellectual warfare, designed to challenge the most fundamental assumptions of the Imperium's technological infrastructure. Sub-Commander Krell's neural interfaces began to generate warning signals that defied computational logic. The human vessel was not just attacking their systems, it was fundamentally rewriting the very language of technological interaction. Across the vast expanse of space, the Imperium's mighty fleet began to unravel, not through physical destruction, but through a form of intellectual warfare that challenged everything they understood about technological conflict. This was more than a battle. This was a revolution written in the language of mathematics and human creativity. The Horizon continued its impossible assault, a single vessel dismantling the most powerful fleet in galactic history through nothing more than pure, unadulterated human innovation. Admiral Zorak watched in mounting horror as his supposedly invincible fleet began to disintegrate. The Horizon was no longer just a vessel. It had become a living embodiment of technological unpredictability, a nightmare that defied every computational model in the Imperium's vast archives. The quantum resonance pulse began its systematic dismantling of the remaining ships. It was not destruction through brute force, but a sophisticated deconstruction that highlighted the fundamental difference between the Imperium's rigid technological approach and human creative problem-solving. Each pulse was a carefully crafted mathematical algorithm, designed to exploit the most minute vulnerabilities in the alien fleet's interconnected systems. Where traditional weapons would seek to destroy through physical damage, the Horizon's approach was far more elegant. It systematically unraveled the very fabric of the fleet's technological infrastructure. Sub-Commander Krell's neural interfaces began to generate warning signals that defied computational logic. The ship's adaptive systems were learning and evolving with each interaction, creating a form of technological warfare that was fundamentally alien to the Imperium's understanding. Elena Rodriguez understood the deeper significance of their engagement. This was more than a battle for survival. It was a demonstration of human potential, a proof that true technological superiority was not about established protocols, but about adaptive, creative thinking. The Horizon's central intelligence system processed millions of potential scenarios in microseconds. Each interaction with the Imperium fleet was a learning opportunity, a chance to understand and exploit the most fundamental weaknesses in their technological approach. Imperium vessels began to experience cascading system failures. Weapon synchronization protocols collapsed, navigation systems became hopelessly confused, and communication networks dissolved into incomprehensible noise. It was as if the very language of their technological communication was being rewritten in real time. Admiral Zorak's command vessel found itself at the epicenter of this technological apocalypse. Neural interfaces that had been designed to be completely impenetrable now struggled to maintain even basic functionality. The computational cores that had once been the pride of the Imperium were now reduced to little more than confused electronic debris. "Recalibrate primary defense protocols," Zorak commanded, his voice a mixture of desperation and disbelief. But each recalibration attempt only introduced more complexity. The Horizon's approach was not about direct confrontation, but about intellectual subversion. It was dismantling the Imperium's technological superiority through a form of mathematical warfare that was fundamentally incomprehensible to their rigid computational systems. Belina watched the transformation with a sense of profound understanding. This was humanity's true strength, the ability to see beyond established technological boundaries. Where other civilizations saw limitations, humans saw opportunities for innovation. The quantum resonance pulse continued its systematic deconstruction. It was not just destroying ships, but challenging the very fundamental assumptions of technological interaction. Each pulse was a complex mathematical argument, a proof that challenged everything the Imperium understood about computational warfare. Sub-Commander Krell's systems began to generate increasingly erratic warning signals. The human vessel was not just attacking their technology. It was fundamentally rewriting the very language of technological interaction. Across the vast expanse of space, the Imperium's mighty fleet continued to unravel, not through physical destruction, but through a form of intellectual warfare that challenged everything they understood about technological conflict. The Horizon moved with an almost surgical precision, its quantum adaptive systems continuing to learn and evolve with each interaction. It was no longer just a ship. It had become a living, thinking entity that was systematically dismantling the most powerful fleet in galactic history. Admiral Zorak realized, with a growing sense of existential dread, that they were facing something far beyond a mere technological threat. This was a fundamental challenge to the Imperium's understanding of technological superiority, intelligence, and the very nature of conflict. As ship after ship fell victim to the Horizon's sophisticated assault, a new understanding began to emerge. This was not just a battle, but a profound statement about the nature of intelligence, creativity, and potential. The turning point had arrived. The communication burst erupted across every known galactic frequency, a symphonic transmission that would reshape the understanding of technological warfare. Captain Elena Rodriguez understood that this moment was about far more than a single battle. It was a declaration of human potential that would echo across countless civilizations. The Horizon's Central Intelligence System began broadcasting the entire engagement in meticulously detailed quantum-encoded signals. Every moment of the battle was transmitted, not just as a military record, but as a comprehensive demonstration of human innovation, resilience, and intellectual superiority. Quantum communication arrays captured the most intricate details. The mathematical complexity of the Horizon's defensive and offensive strategies unfolded like a living theorem, challenging every established understanding of technological conflict. Where most civilizations saw warfare as a matter of physical destruction, humans had transformed it into an art of intellectual subversion. Across thousands of star systems, communication networks lit up with the unprecedented transmission. Research stations, scientific outposts, and diplomatic centers began to receive the comprehensive battle record. The Horizon was not just fighting a war, it was providing a comprehensive case study of human technological potential. Elena watched the transmission protocols with careful consideration. Each signal was carefully constructed to maximize comprehension across different technological and cognitive frameworks. The broadcast was a multilayered communication, part military record, part scientific demonstration, part philosophical statement. Sub-Commander Krell's fractured communication systems inadvertently became a conduit for the transmission. The Imperium's own communication networks, now compromised, began spreading the human vessel's message across their extensive galactic infrastructure. Scientific institutions received detailed quantum mechanical breakdowns of the Horizon's impossible maneuvers. Diplomatic archives captured the strategic brilliance of the engagement. Cultural repositories received embedded cultural narratives that spoke to the deeper motivations behind human survival. Admiral Zorak's attempt to suppress the transmission only amplified its reach. Each effort to block the signal created new pathways, new opportunities for the message to spread. The very systems designed to contain information now became instruments of its dissemination. The psychological impact was immediate and profound. Civilizations that had previously viewed humanity as a conquered species now witnessed a fundamentally different narrative. This was not a story of defeat, but of unprecedented technological and intellectual triumph. Quantum communication arrays captured the most intricate details of the engagement. Mathematical sequences that describe the Horizon's defensive strategies unfolded like living theorems. Each transmission was a complex argument about the nature of intelligence, adaptability, and potential. Elena understood the deeper strategy. This was not just about survival, but about fundamentally reshaping galactic understanding of human capability. Every civilization watching would understand that humanity was not a species to be underestimated. Research stations began intensive analysis of the transmission. The quantum-encoded signals contained layers of information that would take decades to fully comprehend. Scientific communities across multiple star systems found themselves confronted with technological approaches that challenged fundamental understanding of physics, computation, and strategic thinking. The Horizon's communication was a multidimensional proof, a demonstration that human potential was not limited by established technological paradigms. Each signal was a carefully crafted intellectual argument that spoke to the deepest principles of innovation and creativity. Diplomatic archives began to reassess centuries of established narratives about human civilization. The transmission was more than a military record. It was a comprehensive statement about human resilience, innovation, and intellectual capabilities. Sub-Commander Krell's fractured systems continued to spread the transmission, each broken communication channel becoming a new pathway for the message. The very systems designed to contain information now became instruments of its global dissemination. As the signals continued to propagate, a new understanding began to emerge. Humanity was not a conquered species, but a civilization of unprecedented potential. The horizon had transformed from a mere vessel into a symbol of intellectual triumph. The psychological warfare was complete. Not a single weapon had been fired in the traditional sense, yet the impact would resonate across galaxies for generations to come. Humanity had made its statement. The silence after battle was more profound than any explosion. The horizon hung suspended in space, a solitary sentinel against the backdrop of stellar debris and quantum-scattered remnants of the once mighty Imperium fleet. Captain Elena Rodriguez studied the holographic displays, each reading a testament to their impossible survival. The ship carried more than weapons or technological innovations. It was the living repository of human potential, a single vessel that represented the culmination of centuries of human creativity, resilience, and unyielding spirit. Quantum memory cores pulsed with the accumulated knowledge of human civilization. Scientific discoveries spanning millennia, artistic masterpieces that captured the depth of human emotion, historical records that told a story of continuous innovation, all compressed into intricate data matrices that defied conventional understanding of information storage. The Central Intelligence System began its comprehensive analysis of the engagement. This was not merely a battle report, but a complex study of technological innovation, strategic thinking, and the fundamental nature of intelligent adaptation. Each microsecond of the conflict was analyzed, dissected, and understood with a depth that would provide insights for generations to come. Elena understood the true significance of their mission. The horizon was more than a ship of survival. It was a statement about human potential, a living proof that creativity, adaptability, and intellectual innovation could overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. Genetic archives within the ship's storage banks contained samples from thousands of individuals, a comprehensive genetic library that ensured the biological diversity of human potential could be preserved. Scientists, artists, mathematicians, philosophers, each genetic sequence a testament to human complexity. The ship's computational systems began to generate potential scenarios for human reconstruction. Where most species might see defeat as a final ending, the horizon represented a continuous thread of possibility. Strategies for rebuilding, for expanding, for understanding emerged with mathematical precision. Quantum communication arrays continued to broadcast the battle's records across multiple galactic frequencies. The transmission was a comprehensive case study, part historical record, part scientific demonstration, part philosophical argument about the nature of intelligence and survival. Elena reviewed the final computational projections. The Imperium would never recover from this defeat. Their rigid technological infrastructure had been fundamentally challenged, their understanding of computational warfare completely dismantled. But this was more than a military victory. It was a profound statement about the nature of intelligence, creativity, and potential. The ship's cultural archives began to compile a comprehensive record of the engagement. Historical narratives were constructed, scientific analyses were generated, philosophical interpretations were developed. Each perspective offered a different lens through which to understand the battle's significance. Quantum-encoded memory cores preserved not just data, but the emotional and intellectual essence of human experience. Personal journals, scientific discoveries, artistic expressions, a comprehensive archive that captured the breadth of human potential. Elena understood that survival was about more than physical continuation. It was about preserving the essence of human creativity, the ability to imagine, to innovate, to transform challenges into opportunities. The Horizon's computational systems continued their relentless analysis. Potential scenarios for human reconstruction, for expansion, for understanding began to emerge. Where most species might see defeat as a final ending, This vessel represented a continuous thread of possibility. Stellar navigation systems began to plot potential courses, not just paths through physical space, but trajectories of human potential. Each calculation was a statement of hope, a demonstration that humanity's journey was far from over. The ship's central intelligence generated a final comprehensive report. It was more than a battle record. It was a testament to human resilience, a comprehensive argument about the nature of intelligence, adaptation, and survival. As distant stellar clusters rotated in their eternal dance, the horizon represented something profound. It was not just a ship, but a living symbol of human potential. A single vessel carrying the accumulated knowledge, creativity, and hope of an entire civilization. The last human ship had not just survived. It had transformed the very understanding of what survival meant. Humanity's story was far from over.